In personal finance, we spend 90% of our time discussing spreadsheets, interest rates, and mathematical strategies. But consumer debt is rarely just a math problem. It is a deeply psychological burden. It is an invisible, heavy backpack filled with bricks that you are forced to wear every single second of the day. Today, we are stepping away from the calculators. We are going to explore the profound emotional weight of debt. We are going to dissect the shame, the isolation, and the silent anxiety that destroys our peace of mind. And most importantly, we will outline the psychological blueprint to take your power back. In modern society, there is a massive, unspoken stigma surrounding debt. We are culturally conditioned to project an image of absolute success. Because of this, financial struggles are considered the ultimate taboo. People are often more willing to discuss their medical histories or their marital issues than they are to confess their credit card balances. This stigma creates profound emotional isolation. When you are drowning in debt, you feel like you are the only one failing. You assume everyone around you has it figured out, while you are secretly suffocating. This isolation is dangerous because shame thrives in the dark. This shame often leads to one of the most destructive forces in a relationship: financial infidelity. When the guilt of overspending becomes too heavy to bear, individuals begin to lie to their partners. They hide shopping bags in the trunk of the car. They open secret credit cards. They intercept the mail to hide the bank statements. Financial infidelity is rarely about malicious deception. It is almost always born out of extreme shame and the fear of judgment. But the result is catastrophic. It completely erodes the foundational trust of a relationship. The debt doesn't just destroy the family's net worth, it destroys the marriage from the inside out. Beyond relationships, debt severely impairs your individual brain function. Psychologists refer to this as cognitive load. Your brain only has a finite amount of processing bandwidth each day. When you are constantly worrying about minimum payments, impending phone calls from debt collectors, and surviving until the next paycheck, that bandwidth is entirely hijacked. Studies have shown that the chronic stress of severe debt can temporarily lower a person's effective IQ by up to 13 points. You cannot focus on your career, you cannot be present with your children, and you cannot think strategically about your future because your mind is trapped in a permanent state of survival. This constant state of anxiety often triggers a vicious, ironic cycle of self-medication. Because the debt causes so much emotional pain, the brain desperately seeks a quick hit of dopamine to numb the suffering. And how do we usually get that dopamine? By spending more money. We engage in retail therapy to comfort ourselves from the stress of the retail debt we already have. It is akin to drinking salt water to cure dehydration. You are temporarily relieving the symptom while actively making the underlying disease far worse. So, how do we escape this emotional prison? The very first step is a profound shift in perspective. You must completely separate your self-worth from your net worth. You must remove the moral judgment attached to debt. Having consumer debt does not mean you are a bad person. It does not mean you are fundamentally flawed, unlovable, or stupid. It simply means you made a series of mathematical errors in a system that spent billions of dollars engineering psychological traps specifically designed to make you fail. Forgive yourself. Step 2 is terrifying, but absolutely necessary: the confrontation. Fear multiplies in the shadows. When you avoid looking at your bank statements, your imagination assumes the worst. You must turn on the lights. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Sit down at the table, pull out every single statement, and write the exact total number on a piece of paper. Cry if you need to. Be angry if you need to. But look the monster directly in the eye. Acknowledge the exact size of the enemy. This confrontation is deeply painful, but it is incredibly cathartic. Step 3 is ending the isolation through radical transparency. If you are married or in a partnership, you must confess. Lay everything on the table. It will be an excruciating conversation, but the relief of no longer carrying the secret will be monumental. You cannot defeat this enemy alone. By bringing the debt into the open, you transition from being two isolated individuals hiding in shame to a unified team executing a strategic battle plan. The secret loses its power the moment it is spoken out loud. When you apply the avalanche or the snowball method with a clear conscience, every payment you make ceases to be a punishment. Every payment becomes an act of rebellion. You are no longer a victim of the credit card companies. You are a warrior actively buying back your freedom. As the balances decrease, your cognitive load lightens. The fog lifts. You begin to sleep through the night again. You slowly reclaim your psychological sovereignty. You remember what it feels like to earn a paycheck that belongs entirely to you and not to your past mistakes. Wealth is not just the accumulation of assets. It is the absence of anxiety. Do not let shame keep you in chains. The journey to a zero balance will be difficult, but I promise you, the peace of mind on the other side is worth every single sacrifice. This week, we've covered the mechanics of credit, the psychology of borrowing, the math of strategic leverage, and the heavy emotional toll of bad debt. Tomorrow, we bring all of this together in our Saturday storytelling summary. We will watch a cinematic short film called The Man Who Borrowed Tomorrow, the visceral journey of an individual who fell deeply into the plastic illusion, hit absolute rock bottom, and used the snowball method to claw his way out of the abyss. It is a story of despair, realization, and ultimate triumph. You will not want to miss it. Subscribe to Decode Advanced English on Wealth, and I'll see you tomorrow.